Do you really believe that garbage?
It's not about believing, it's a matter of fact.
So you believe that investing strategies are actually a secret, it's weaponized to support and promote gender transition for children. I just want to, is essentially that what you're saying? Or do you just use it as another opportunity to beat up on children? So do you believe this?
I'm not the one beating up on children. It's the people who are promoting gender transitions in children that are potentially harming them.
Well, so let me tell you, if I could,
Folks, that clip you just saw is Becca Balint. She is a member of Congress, believe it or not. She represents part of Vermont. So does Bernie Sanders. So take with that what you will. And she is horrendous and awful and terrible and just no damn good. You got to see the rest of this interaction, though. I've never seen someone so wrong, yet so sure of herself. She's upset. She's pretending there's a big conspiracy afoot, alleging that big business is trying to force transitions on children. She, of course, doesn't believe it's so. She's wrong, but we'll get into that. Let's check out this whole exchange.
And one of the things that you said in your information here that you provided was that the dangers of ESG include promoting gender transitions for children. And I want to know, do you really believe that garbage?
Now, we already saw that part of the clip, but it's worth noting again because it's so terrible. Mostly because, yes, she does believe that garbage. The guest is from the Independent Woman Forum, a fellow at the Heritage Foundation. They know their stuff. But because she doesn't agree, she, of course, thinks that they are arguing in bad faith, which is, of course, a tell because that's what they do. And it's true. Everyone knows it. But we'll lay out the proof here in just a minute.
It's not about believing, it's a matter of fact.
So you believe that investing strategies are actually a secret, it's weaponized to support and promote gender transition for children. I just want to, is essentially that what you're saying? Or do you just use it as another opportunity to beat up on children? So do you believe this?
I'm not the one beating up on children. It's the people who are promoting gender transitions in children that are potentially harming them.
Well, so let me tell you, if I could, let me tell you where I stepped out. And this is why I'm bringing it up. I stepped out to sit down with parents of trans kids from states that have come after their kids, and now their kids can't get the level of care that they deserve and need.
Worth noting, Europe is starting to see countries back away from this because they don't need this. The studies show it doesn't work, and this idea that you're harming them if you stop them is garbage. And that's what the guest was trying to say. I guess witness would be a better way. But this woman is so terrible, she won't stop badgering her on the issue. It is kind of pathetic, but she's proud of herself here. Listen to this stuff.
And they literally said, when you leave this room, could you please, the next time you're in a room with someone bringing up yet again our children and our families as some kind of boogeyman, that you will actually stand up for us. And literally, I didn't think it would take less than a half hour. I left that hearing. Here I am. I didn't know I would have such an opportunity. But it feels like every single hearing that I am in, whether it is in oversight or whether it is in budget or whether it is in a subcommittee, somehow the witnesses find a way to bring in trans children into whatever conversation we're trying to have here.
What's funny about this is the implication here is that somehow they're beating up on kids by saying, hey, we shouldn't be transitioning them. I know we call it gender affirming care, but it doesn't affirm anything. It's actually gender transitioning. If you were affirming their gender, you would tell them, hey, you're a boy, or hey, you're a girl, not, oh, you're whatever you want to be. So I feel bad for this person, but not as bad as I do for the children she's actually talking about, because they're not helping them. Giving children whatever they want when they're young is not the answer to pretty much anything. But this member of Congress thinks that this made her look good. Look at the tweet she sent out. This is her own tweet on this issue. This video that I just shared you. It seems there are people who will stop at nothing to spout hateful garbage against kids, no less. Happy Pride. This transphobic, hateful nonsense has no place in Congress or anywhere. You know, isn't it interesting that she cannot make an actual argument? It's all just calling names and implying that the other people are being hateful. Well, the individuals they're questioning are trying to explain to her, what you're doing is harming kids. They're not impugning her motives. There's no reason to. She's an idiot. She knows not what she does. But remember, if you go back to the very beginning of this, the conversation was about what? The conversation was about whether or not, and this seems funny, but it's not actually funny, the conversation about whether or not there was some sort of conspiracy afoot to use investing as a way to target children. Well, fuck. There is, believe it or not, an actual conspiracy afoot.
It's just, you have to force behaviors. And if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted. And that's not recruiting, it is development, as Ken said.
How do you force change, though? I mean,
how do you force change? By the way, this is an investing conference. That's the CEO of Blackrock saying, hey, we do this. You're either going to play the way we want to play on race and gender and sexuality, or we're going to impact you on development, meaning resources. If you don't play our way, if you don't support the things we support, we're going to harm you. We're going to harm your business. Isn't this exact argument was being made? Well, a member of Congress was freaking out and acting like it was the craziest thing that she'd ever heard. Maybe she hasn't seen this video.
Larry, BlackRock has really been in the forefront of the ESG movement within corporate governance and a real leader. And yet change is so slow. So what is, and Ken as well, how do you force change when it is so incremental and so gradual? How do you do something more radical? Have you thought about that? Has the board of American Express thought about more radical things we could do to enhance diversity and inclusion?
Can you use your money to force people to do what we want to do? And if they say no, can you punish them harder, Daddy? And the answer is, yeah, we could.
Because it has to be imbued in the culture of a firm. It has to be talked about. It has to be shown. Behaviors across the entire firm in every region have to be similar. And every citizen of the firm has to understand what is acceptable behaviors and what are unacceptable behaviors.
What is acceptable behavior and what is unacceptable behavior? But remember, there is no conspiracy using investing to push social change on people. Yes, there is. They know there is, and they're doing it intentionally. Why are we pretending otherwise? What an absolute farce and what an embarrassment for this member of Congress. She should apologize. She never will because she thinks she's right. And you kind of feel for her because she doesn't know any better. And I mean that, by the way. She doesn't know any better. She is just a sad, wrong person. It's unfortunate. I'm not going to question her motives. I'm just going to call her stupid. And I'm going to point out that what she's doing is wrong. And it's unfortunate she believes what she's doing is right because history will not judge this kindly. We are not going to find that these kids are all saved by transitioning. Giving into their worst instincts at a vulnerable time and harming them forever is a bad idea. They're children. They should be told no.